Hey, if you're thinking about Denver, Colorado Springs, I know I'm moving to Colorado, but I don't know which way I want to go. Maybe your company said you can work from anywhere and you're like, oh, well, I want to get the hell out of here, but just where? Well, in this video, we're going to compare what it's like to live in Colorado Springs versus Denver, Colorado. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. Hey party people, welcome back to the channel. I'm Sean Murphy and
I'm Kyle Wong.
And we love making videos just like this one about what it's like to live in Colorado, pros and cons, cost of living this area versus that area, like this video. So if you're into that and you want to stay up to date on all the latest hotness that we put out, hit subscribe and then
hit the notification bell.
Hit the bell and you'll be notified each time that we put up a new video. Let's get on into it. Let's start with the main thing. It's like you're going to two different cities, two different size cities. So we're gonna talk about just like population. Well, more and more every day, but at this point, Colorado Springs has less people than Denver. So in the area of Colorado Springs, there are 470,000 folk, while in Denver, there's 700,000 in the area we call Denver. However, Kyle, tell him.
Well, Colorado Springs is sprawling. It is very expansive. Colorado Springs proper goes for miles and miles, whereas the high population in Denver is pretty condensed. So Denver feels like a real proper city with sky rises, but there are tons of surrounding cities like Aurora, like Littleton, like Englewood, whereas Colorado Springs is pretty much just Colorado Springs.
Good. So yeah, it does feel noticeably less busy in the Springs compared to Denver.
Yes, and less traffic.
Traffic. I'm glad you brought that up because that is the next difference we want to talk about today. Both areas have traffic, but Denver is more traffic. Would you agree?
100%. Denver, like we said, is more condensed, more highly populated, and so getting along even bigger roads like I-25 or even C-470, there's just going to be a lot longer of a delay, more rush couple of hours than rush hour perhaps, whereas Colorado Springs is sprawling, right? So along I-25 you get a lot of traffic, or some of the main corridors like Powers, for example, but it's just not nearly as bad down there.
Yeah, I think you said that perfectly. Like there's only a few main corridors in the Springs that can get kind of messy, but there's a lot of them. It can get pretty messy all over the place in Denver. Both areas have crazy drivers. However, I feel the Springs is a little crazier. Why?
I don't want to brag or anything, but our drivers are a little bit crazier, more aggressive. I don't know if I would say they're bad drivers, but is it because we have a lot more people that are PCSing, higher military, people from other states? I don't know. But we have our suspicions.
You think the military people just like get after it?
Maybe.
Maybe. You be the judge. Let us know. Let us know in the comments below. Cool, so population, traffic, a little bit busier up in Denver. But also let's talk about the pricing, because I think that's the biggest thing that kind of sets the direction for a lot of people if you could go either way, because the Springs is definitely less expensive. I'd say in Denver it's hard to get a place for under 400,000, where I see some things in the Springs like 300, 350.
Yeah.
Is okay?
Yeah.
So if you're like I'm under 400, definitely go to the Springs. The median home price in Denver coming into this year is $575, and Springs was
about $468.
Yeah, so definitely a big difference there. And if that's like a big determining factor for you, you'll probably like the Springs. And if you're not sure which area to check out within those areas, that is absolutely why you need to call us. We are the guys, we are realtors. Kyle works a lot of the Springs. I'm up in Denver. We cover the Foothills, greater Denver metro area, everywhere in between. So if you have questions on exactly which spot is best for you, we love hearing from you. So give us a call, text. Is that text? Just
call, schedule a call, text test, whatever.
Pigeon carrier, whatever works best for you. Happy to help you out. Next up is, I just want to say, between the two cities, this isn't really a difference, but more of a similarity, and that they both have like this city. Like ours is a little bit bigger, a little bit busier. Yours is, I think, is, you know, nicer. You're like closer to the mountains. I think the mountains look better down there.
What's beautiful.
But then we also have like the foothills and mountain towns, and I feel like they kind of mimic each other because like Woodland Park of the Colorado Springs area, I think is similar to the Evergreen, lower price, but for the people that want to be within an hour of the big city but be in the mountains in a kind of a community, Woodland Park is the Evergreen of Colorado Springs. Do you agree?
100%.
I think Morrison is magical because of the red rocks, and it's just cool. But yours is actually, I feel like, magical.
It is.
Like
it's gorgeous, and like you said, it's actually cheaper. That's the nice thing.
We say less expensive, but
It's less expensive.
but the cave dwellings. So Manitou Springs has this like carbonated water essentially from the minerals that comes out of the ground. We don't have that.
It's true.
Yeah, so I think Manitou Springs is magical. You also have like the incline if you want to like do a little bit of like self-hating one day. You go climb up Manitou.
And here's one more thing. You mentioned Morrison, which has Red Rocks Amphitheater, world famous music venue. But did you know Colorado Springs is also getting their own Red Rocks Amphitheater called the Sunset Amphitheater here soon?
It's not going to be like Red Rocks.
Emotional, damn it!
It's gonna be like Red
But
Rocks.
you guys did need a big venue.
We did.
And I think that ties in perfectly to our next thing, which is just the music scene. Because the music scene, we have a lot more theaters in Denver. Like there's really small ones, there's Red Rocks. So we had like music venues for every person. But I feel like you guys were never getting love. You have a lot of like smaller venues,
Yeah.
but you weren't getting the big talent like we were because you didn't have like a music venue like this one.
I know. We are lacking in that department.
But
so.
it's coming.
It's coming.
So I'm excited for you, Colorado Springs. Good job. Weather, because the weather outside is weather. And they're both kind of high, arid, montane like climates. We're, at altitude. But what do you think?
They're similar. I think if you're in Denver, it's warm just because there's so many buildings and so much infrastructure that it retains heat, at least during the summers. But technically, as you go further south, it warms up, right? So from Denver to Colorado Springs, it should be warmer. From Colorado Springs to Fountain, it should be warmer.
Should be.
So I think they kind of end up just about the same. And then speaking of weather, we kind of have, for whatever reason, a little bit less snow year over year as opposed to Denver. I don't know why that is.
I don't either. So both are going to get great sunshine. Both, I think, are like immune to a lot of the natural disasters. Like not a whole lot of twisters. I mean, sometimes if you go out in the plains, but not like in the springs. And there's hardly any hurricanes up here, right?
I don't know. They've gotten close before.
They've gotten
but
close.
They made it all the way to Louisiana one time.
Yeah, but overall, weather is great. Weather in Colorado is awesome, so you'll like it. Better than wherever you're coming from. Let's talk about nightlife. All right, so let's talk about nightlife because I'm always complaining about Denver. I think there's a lot of music venues. There's a lot of things going on, but they close at 10 o'clock. Everything shuts down, and I find that super annoying. What's the nightlife down there as a young go-hard?
I can't say it's much better. Denver,
No.
I always thought was like the big crazy city. You go to Colorado Springs, same thing. And having lived in Castle Rock too, 10 p.m. everything shuts off. Colorado Springs is a little bit later, a little bit younger. But yeah, if you're looking for nightlife, Denver is probably the spot in Colorado to go.
Yeah, cool. All right, let's talk about culture, and without getting too deep into it because we love our real estate licenses and we don't want to lose them. I'd say overall, because Denver has been known as an area with a lot of millennials the past 15 years that have been rolling in, that it's got kind of this weird vibe. It's still getting a lot of people that are coming out here after they graduated college, but then we have a lot of like people my age. Yeah, we got a lot of this going on. A lot of Kyles and a lot of Seans out here. So I'd say it's got more of a diverse, like more liberal though feeling until you get maybe like north or south or into the mountains. But like in Denver, it feels more liberal and a little different.
Yeah, I was going to say, Colorado Springs, it's very diverse as well. You get quite a few different groups, both in age group and socioeconomic classes, And for example, you have a lot of students, you have a lot of younger people because there's Colorado College, there's UCCS, University of Colorado, Colorado Springs, and there's also Pikes Peak Community College, all within a pretty small range of each other. So you have a high population of younger people. They're usually centralized towards the downtown areas, sometimes in the outskirts. But you also have some older, more mature clients who are out west, out in Manitou Springs, have their mountain cabins, their retirement homes. But you also have younger families, like middle-aged families, kind of up north and out east, I would say, in newer developments. So you really have a little bit of everything there.
But military, though. Military,
Yes.
like, kind of sets the tone in Colorado. But how did you not start with that?
I don't know. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, so it's a military town. The Colorado Springs has the Air Force right there. And so it would be like a more conservative area.
There is the Air Force Base. There is also Space Force. And
Space Force is down there?
Yeah, Space Force is down there, as well as the Army base. So you have a huge military presence in Colorado Springs.
But then you also have like the Olympic Training Center, which is cool down there. So you have you got a bunch of athletes that you'll see just rolling around, that's pretty cool.
And you have Focus on the Family, headquartered down there, I believe. So there's a lot going on. Also, on the topic...
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. Billy Mays here. On the topic of military, you also have is it Air Force Base?
Oh, Buckley, yeah.
Buckley, yeah. Buckley Air Force Base. So you have military presence there as well.
But, I mean, either way, I really do feel like Colorado, I think you'd be happy as long as you're not too far any one direction in either place, because I feel like Colorado, there's not a ton of people from here that everyone's like, don't start nothing, won't be nothing type vibe. It's like, you do your thing, I'll do mine.
Yeah.
If you learned anything from what we talked about today, give us one of these. Give us the HBO special, the Help a Brother Out special, and do the YouTube thing for us so more people could see this. And then again, if you have questions, specific questions about your journey out to Colorado, give us a call, shoot us a text. We are on the Moxie team. We cover all the areas, and we got your back, so reach out.
Thank you.
It was good.
Yeah.
Good job.